Welcome everyone to this amazing island cluster where we previously built the one-tile tropical city of Isla Soleada, containing a thriving downtown, a bustling industrial district, beautiful luxury suburbs, and a small international airport on a man-made island. Our next addition is going to be a beautiful set of touristic islands built on these small keys just east of the main city, connected by Ferry. And if you enjoy my videos, hit the like button and consider subscribing and enable notifications to not miss out on future content. Many thanks. Alright, so the immediate challenge here is of course that the amount of land available here is pretty scarce, and we are gonna need some roads to connect everything up, and I do want to have some separate, pretty distinct areas on this small stretch of land. So yeah, the first thing we're going to do is just lay out a very basic road layout where we connect these minor islands together. And then after that, I'm going to segment the islands into like their own zones. It's going to make it a little easier for us to designate different types of developments in each area. So the first thing I'm just gonna do is like draw out a very basic road layout because that's gonna give me sort of an idea of how much space I have to work with, where to place things, and then we can always adjust the layout as we move along. But for now, just a simple placement of some roads, and don't worry, I'll make sure to remove the trees, of course. And that's gonna give me that overview of how much space do we actually have available. And when I have that overview, it's gonna be that much easier to just start kind of planning out where I want to place things. And for these islands, I want to have like a mix of some very fancy detached houses, some real luxury places. But also a few resorts. There are a couple from the Hotels and Retreats DLC, I think that's what it's called, that I'm gonna use, that I feel are a good fit. Unfortunately, quite a few of them just, I don't know, they just look sort of weird. Just weird models all in all. So yeah, it's gonna be a little limited what I can use from it, but I do have a few candidates that I hope you guys agree with. So with the road layout in place, I'm gonna do the segmentation just to make it easier for myself. And I was thinking that this island here would be a good spot for these, I guess they're like cottage, yeah, yes, this word. And then this main area here, there's this pretty nice looking, almost like Spanish inspired resort that is part of the Hotels DLC that I think we can try and squeeze in here with easy access to the beach. And then for the remainder of these areas, we're gonna go with our low density housing. So we're just gonna segment it into districts. Find that often that makes it just a little easier to gain an overview of what I want. There's also another type of hotel that I'm gonna see if I can squeeze into this bay, but some of the networks in it can work a little wonky. But let's start placing these hotels so that we've got like an idea of what this is actually going to look like. So the resort is obviously this spa resort, which is a pretty big building, probably going to be the biggest structure out here on these islands, but just gonna place it first because then I'll get like an overall idea of the scale and the placement. And pretty lucky that right out of the gate, I'm pretty happy with how this one is located. So I think that's a pretty good fit. As we zoom out as well, the scale isn't completely over the top. And then out here, cottages. I'm not gonna attempt to say that word anymore tonight, so you'll have to make do with those two butchered attempts. Rental cabins. Oh my god, this could be so much easier. Cabins. Completely fine. And they do have sort of like a mountainous look to them. So they might look a little out of place maybe, but it's the best I can do for now. And I think we're going to just remove these and then arrange this road as like a circle instead. There you go. And then we're just gonna place these around perfectly. Something like that. I'll get back to this area to, of course, detail it up and all that good stuff. Now the final building that I might attempt to use is these ocean resorts. I've tried to use it once before, and the networks that you guys can see here that attach to the island caused a ton of problems. So I'm a little unsure whether it's actually going to work, but I guess it's worth a try. But yeah, if I place it, this segment looks super weird, which is a bit unfortunate really. But I can maybe save it with a cool little trick that I haven't known for too long. If you select a building like this with Move It and then hold down Alt, you'll actually be able to select the segments and nodes of the networks that are a part of the building. So as you guys can see, I can actually select this node here, and then I should be, yeah, I'm able to raise it. So that's pretty awesome. Maybe we can salvage this building after all. If I can grab the node in here, of course, that's a big if. There it is. And I should be able to raise that as well. Awesome. So that actually worked out. Pretty happy with that. Because I think it's pretty cool that we've got this little bay, this little inlet here where we've got this this resort placed. I might also go for the boat hotel if I can squeeze it in, but I think before we do anything else, we need to connect this this island up by ferry. We're gonna need a ferry depot, and then we're gonna need 2 stops. So I'm just gonna place the depot first, and I think preferably we place the depot in here on Isla Soleada. It is like a primary building of some sort, so I think that's a pretty good idea. And I'm just gonna place it randomly, and then I'm gonna try and squeeze it into place here. Just gonna remove these road segments because that's probably gonna make it a little easier to work with. Something like this, so that it's sort of integrated with the key that we've already got available here. Easy connection, and hopefully another easy connection. Cool. For the ferry stop, we are just gonna kind of do the same thing actually. I'll see if I can just squeeze it in here. That it's gonna be a bit more of a squeeze, this one. We might have to do some weird stuff with some of the roads just to get it aligned. I'm gonna adjust the height so that it's matched, and then we're just gonna try and align these, and then see if we can just about connect them up. We can. Something like this, and we had another connection here, which is just gonna go in here. And once again, we can select this, hold down Alt to select this node, and then drag it. Very nice. It's way too tall, but yeah, I think that's okay. I don't want to like reduce the, or do I? Do I actually want to try and reduce the height of everything here? This can go so... I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna mess it up. I don't have the guts to do that. So this is gonna be how it is for now. Maybe, just maybe we can cover it up with some trees or something, and make it look a little more passable, even though it's a little tall. But I think that's okay. We'll live with that little detail. We need the other part, of course, of the ferry stop somewhere over here. So I'm just gonna place it at first, and then I'm gonna see if I can like integrate it with the boat hotel, because maybe that's gonna look a little more complete. So So let's see, where do we have it? We got it here. So yeah, maybe this would actually look pretty cool. Just gonna close this down and we'll see if we can make sense of this connection. Just gonna try and align these roads ever so slightly. Something like this, and we'll connect them up. That of course went fine. And we'll do this connection, and we've got some nodes here that are once again a little wonky, but I think in this case we might as well just lower it a bit to make it all look a little nicer, be a bit closer to like the ocean level. We'll select this and we'll once again hold down Alt so we can select this node and just get it out of the water. And we'll do the same over here. Just make sure the alignment is correct. Can I probably can't select this way. No, that's an asset. It's not a network. But yeah, I think this is fine. Fine for now. And I guess we're actually ready to connect up the ferry then. So I'm just gonna check if we've got a ferry line. No, but let's just get one going then. Great, we'll grab our ferry stops. Try to place a stop out here. And see if we can connect it up here. Yoink, and we'll go back and connect it all up to complete the line. Very nice. Let's see. I don't remember when I last built like a ferry line in this game. So we've got a pretty cool selection by now in vanilla. Probably requires some of the DLCs as well. I think I'm gonna go with these with 20 capacity. Then we'll just select the line for the details. 3 vehicles is probably a pretty good start. So we're just gonna let that kind of play and see if that's sufficient whenever traffic actually gets going. Because obviously right now there isn't a lot of demand for transport to this island. There are only resorts. So we're gonna start detailing out this main island here with the resort. And I want to try and fix up all the many junctions here. And the first thing I'd like to do is just try and build a few roundabouts here. Maybe even make it like take some inspiration from a turbo roundabout and then connect to like a long, narrow roundabout. I guess I have to do it for it to make sense. So what I'm using here is the roundabout builder mod. And I've just selected it, and then when I hover over an intersection, I can say plus and minus to like select the scale of the roundabout, and it's the outermost red ring that designates where the road is placed. So what I want is just a very small one here and the same thing here. And then I'm going to remove these segments here like so, and just connect up like so. And then we've got our kind of round thingy here. Does this make perfect sense? No, but I mean, stuff I create rarely makes perfect sense. But if I can make it look sort of pretty, then I'm happy with that as well, or interesting at least. So we're just gonna change this road a bit to get some more grass to kind of poke through. And I'm actually gonna do that here as well. No, I'm just gonna upgrade this road to the one with some palms. And the same over here. I don't want all this roadside parking. It's not really necessary. We're gonna have some dedicated parking here. Now for the parking for the resort, the terrain here is a little uneven. So I'm gonna go ahead and use one of the roads from the base game. It's like a special road that's usually used as part of a building of some sort. I think it's called this parking lot. It's a bit of a weird name, but it's gonna allow us to actually create like a parking lot road, just like in the if you have a a modded version of the game. So I'm gonna show that in just a second. We're just going to adjust the height of these nodes like so, and then I am going to upgrade this segment to these ones. I know it looks a little weird, but I should be able to use node controller to, yeah, I can make these a little prettier, like so. There you go. And the width of this I'll have to change, but I'll show you guys what I'm actually doing here. So if we grab these new parking assets here that are now part of the base game, and we align those, it's a bit tricky, like so, then as you guys might already have figured out, I should be able to use node controller to adjust the size of it, the size of the end nodes here. And when we do that, the scale, sorry, then you'll see that we've got effectively got a parking lot road here in vanilla. So this red one, I can of course squeeze this down to about 80, and that seems to be just what I want. And over here it's the blue one, we squeeze that to 80, and I'm just gonna fix this right back up. And I'll just do a little alignment here. Probably gonna need node controller to just manually align. But that is fine. It's a very easy mod to use. And there you go. We've got some parking. We can even grab this at the road actually. Let's see, this type of road, and then we should be able to switch to dirt. And we are. That looks pretty good, and it is going to work like functional parking. Cars can drive through here, and then they're gonna park due to the fact that we've got actual functioning parking just overlaid on top of it. And we might as well use some of these very simple pathways to just add some very simple decoration or details right off throughout. So connecting up these spaces we've got here and over here as well, and then it's gonna be an easy way for us to create like a very quick plaza here, or park probably. And we'll have like a walkway here near the water. So just super simple, not gonna spend a ton of time on it, because it's not that interesting. Something like this, and then we can add all the trees and necessities as we want. Now I want to develop one of these housing areas, because that is going to be a bit interesting, I feel, because I'm gonna try and use sort of a different, gonna try and achieve like a different look. I don't want any on-street parking, so I'm gonna grab this 2-lane road with wide sidewalks, and then going to switch to dirt instead of the sidewalk, so we sort of get this look here. Where you don't actually have any like sidewalks, which I know is, I mean, means you have to walk on either grass or the road, but I don't really, I think it looks kind of cool, so that's just why I'm going with it. And what I'm also gonna do is try to create some cul-de-sacs here at the very end, so we can have a few houses like facing the cul-de-sac. So I'm going to use node controller to go in and create a few extra nodes, and I'm just going to have to upgrade the roads again to get the textures right. Then we can use node controller to select the end node here, more options, and then we can just stretch it and create like a round, as you guys can see, like a round mushroom shape here. And we can just move this node to make it look a little better. Something like this, and we'll do the very same over here. Cool. Then for the houses, we've only got vanilla assets, decals, and props available to us in this map here. So it's probably just gonna be by searching for villas. and that's pretty much gonna cover our needs. That provides us with these big beautiful houses here, and in this case we can even sort of make the road a little bendy and extend it out here, because we've got a bit more space to work with. And then yeah, we're just gonna place down these houses. The big villas they are usually the most fitting for these areas. So for instance, this big post-modernist something could be placed by the very end here. Something like this. And I'll just go through and place down the houses I want. Now, my reasoning for placing some of these houses a little back from the road is that I'm gonna try and simulate driveways just using the pavement paths here. So if I just make like a driveway in here and one here, for instance, then that's my attempt at simulating that. Actually, this didn't really work, but I guess if I create another stretch here, then maybe I can like... Maybe... No, that's not really gonna work, is it? Where did this stuff come from? That's weird. Anyways, that's basically the idea. It's just to make my own like driveways to the houses here, so that some of these they can be sort of a bit back from the road, basically, because then I can try and use like some fences, or maybe even, I don't even know if I have some great hedges available here in vanilla. I probably don't. Long hedge, does this doesn't exactly look too awesome, right? Maybe this one, this red one, could sort of use... We could use that. Let's just see how that looks. We can try. Just for like the front. Nah, we're gonna use some fences instead, I think. Just have like these park fences to sort of separate the buildings. Which is a bit odd, but it also makes it all a little unique, which is always nice. With these fences in place, next step is just to use our like terraforming guard tools to just make the edges here a little more smooth. I wanted to go very close to the houses, but also just to smoothen it out ever so slightly. So actually for some of these houses I probably need to extend the coast a bit. They are very, very close to the edge of the water, and that's not necessarily what I want. Just gonna lower the strength here a bit so I don't mess up too much. And then I'm just gonna start detailing, and it's gonna be basically using some trees and some stones. And yeah, I'm just gonna let it all flood for a second. And we can start placing down the trees. I've got a theme. A brush, sorry, with the forest brush mod, which makes it very easy for me, as you can see, to just place down trees, and it's gonna select a new tree each time I place one. I can also right click to cycle through the available trees I'm using, but this makes it very easy to detail up with trees. And I'm going to use a ton of trees, which may block the view for some of these houses ever so slightly, but it's just going to add just the right atmosphere I want to add to these areas. And there we go. Pretty fun experimental way of creating this area, using the road types a little differently, having some of the houses be a little drawn away from the road and trying to make our own driveways, and some pretty light detailing, of course, using only vanilla assets, trees and bushes, and it looks pretty cool. I'm gonna wrap up this area with a bit of road detailing, but before I do that, I'm going to remove this segment entirely, and then just gonna like see if I can just move this a bit as well, because it does look a little out of place. I'm probably just gonna add like a small cul-de-sac to this area here by just adding yeah, not like that. Adding a little road segment and then just moving it closer and enlarging it so that that is the end of like the driveway to this resort here. And yeah, it looks a little odd because I can't control the texture of the actual resort, but I can lower like that's, oh, I've got a note here, sorry. Oof, I gotta be careful now. I feel like my game is crashing if I mess too much with this. It's working out. There you go. Awesome. We've got the resort taken care of here. We probably need a parking lot as well. So I think I'm just gonna grab one of these if I can. But I'm not certain I can. Maybe if I grab the road, could make like the road parking lot as well, but nah, I'm just gonna place the actual parking lot asset. So I'm just gonna find it. Where is it? There it is, right in front of me. Place it down, flip it around, align it here with the road, and then we're going to grab this road here and we're gonna use that segment over here as well. Something like this, and then we can get this aligned real close and add a little path. Something like this, and then hopefully we can cover or mess up with lots of trees and stuff. And I think I'm gonna leave this area as is now. Maybe there's just room for a little house. Oh yeah, I'm gonna detail up the roads, of course. I'm not gonna leave this area, not just yet. I just want to place down a nice house here as well, because we've got this long narrow LUT, and this will do. Round it out with just a bit of fencing. Just like that. That's fine. Cool. We're going to use the intersection marking tool to address some of the annoyances I have with this road. So one is that white lines here in the middle. I don't really want that. I don't think that's something we would have on such a small road here. So I'm going to create a filler for the entire road. We're gonna say solid, and we've just gonna adjust the color of this so that it it's a little darker, and then it covers it up. Not too much darker, actually, something like this. But I don't want any I don't want any transparency. I want to just be able to remove the white lines, and then I can go in and I can add a bit of texture density and some cracks, so that it's not too pretty looking. Cool. We are gonna copy this and paste it throughout. But if we say, let's see, there should be a Control Shift. No, wait, what's it called? If I select this one, and I say Control Shift B, I can apply it to the whole street. There you go. And then I'm gonna have to do some adjustment here. That's not really gonna work. I'm gonna have to adjust the colors so that it's it kind of blends in ever so slightly. We're probably gonna go with asphalt, because then I can choose the exact map theme I have going for me, which is this one, and the exact same color scheme, which is probably this one. And that is still gonna cover up the white lines, fortunately. So we're just gonna go in here and update that. There you go. That removes the white lines, and we can do the same over here for the entire road. There you go. And then I can customize this even further by coming in with the traffic manager mod, selecting lane arrows, and then removing them from these roads. I don't think we want lane arrows on these tiny suburban streets. We can select node controller, and we can remove these the crossing as well, because I don't want that either. I'm fine with the crossings and the arrows here because there's a little more traffic. There's an entrance to the resort, so that's fine with me. But I am going to upgrade this road and this one, which is going to, of course, allow us to just bring the parking lots a bit closer. I'm going to have to adjust this boat hotel a bit because it's got like an odd shape. It sticks out, and it's probably because this pier of some type is super long. So if I select it, I should be able to, I'm just gonna pause the game. I should be able to select these nodes and just maybe actually if we start by grabbing it and just aligning it just like I want it. Something like this, maybe a little closer, then I should be able to grab these nodes and just kind of fix it all up. It's really a wonderful thing that you can use this technique with Move It, and there you go. I think that looks a lot better. It doesn't stick out as much out in the water. I know it's so that there is clearance for the boats to enter, but that should still be the case here. So that's a nice little change. Let's try detail up this island here where we've got our cabins. So if we add a few like shelters maybe and some tents, we've got almost like a campground vibe going on here. I'm just gonna grab a few of these tents and then we can copy paste them. And then I know I've got some shelters as well from the Park Life DLC. Right. The shelter, and we've got a shelter here as well. And we've got a gazebo or two. We can even add these maybe. And at first I'm just placing down everything, then assessing what I've got, and then I can just like try and move them around, see if these gazebos even make any sense out here. Probably don't. This one doesn't, at least. This one is a little nicer looking. I'll place one over here as well. And then we've got these shelter spots. So I can make like a small, like a cluster of shelters here and one on the other side. Yoink. We'll just adjust to terrain height, and we'll move the cluster over here as well. And we'll also adjust that to terrain height. Then we've got these tents. So we can have like small, like a tent ground as well that you can use out here. I think that would be pretty cool also. So I guess this place is just like as a reaction to the pretty expensive tropical theme on the main island of Isla Soleada, that there's something out here that is, you know, that it feels a little more cozy and down to earth. And we're just gonna use our dirt paths to kind of connect up the whole thing. So I have a path going here to these park grounds, the gazebo, maybe connect up these. Something like this, and then of course just a bunch of trees. And do they need restrooms? Yeah, probably. I'm not a savage, so amusement park, zoo, park. Maybe the zoo restrooms, is that the best like fit asset? Well, yeah, I think that probably looks the best for this particular type of area. It's a pretty good looking asset actually. I mean, for a place to poop, it says zoo, which it's okay. It doesn't matter. We'll add lots of trees to this place. Now the type of adjustment we did to the boat hotel, where we just kind of reduced the scale of it a bit, we can also do with this resort here. And I think I want to do that because it is just a bit of an awkward size really. So it's about trying to get the nodes that I want to select, and then seeing if I can just move them. So it's going to be a bit finicky. And I think that's a pretty nice change. Some of the boats probably can't really leave now, but yeah, they're stuck. It's a good thing they're stuck in paradise then, I suppose. And just gonna cover the whole thing up with trees. There's a lot of small ugly things here that I would preferably like to hide. And we'll add a bunch of these shrubs here as well. Just create this very, very like overgrown look here. Great, and I think that really made it look much better, just bringing it a lot closer to the shoreline so it didn't stick out as much. So for this little peninsula down here, I'd like to try something a little different and build like a master planned area from a single developer. a luxurious development for sure, but just something that's a little more simple by having the same type of development for all the houses basically. So let's try this out. Just gonna remove all the trees. We're once again using this very basic road that we've used throughout much of the island here, and then plan is to find some sort of building that is relatively narrow, like a house of some sort, and one that would fit like a mass build potential. I think these are a very good fit because they're pretty modern, they're pretty small, and they have lots of like glass, so they're obviously built for somewhere where you could have a good view. And maybe we'll just try and like create some sort of let's see, we'll have some sort of a pattern here on this side of the road, something like this maybe. Just trying things out. It's always a lot of fun to experiment, really. Something like this, and then we can just connect up, of course, the roads here where we miss a connection. I think that's pretty nice. We might even try a different type of road here. So if we grab this one where we've got parking, and we're still gonna go for the dirt version with the grass on either side, at least up until here, then what we can do to create like a more unique look is to just, I'll just add like a cul-de-sac at the very end, because that's always interesting. And just gonna go 120, because then I'm going to shrink the remainder of the road to 90, and then I'm going to, my idea is to disable parking on one of the sides of the road, then maybe just actually like making like a continuous planter instead. So just give me a second and I'll show just what I mean. So we've got the road here, and then if we open up the traffic manager mod here, we can disable parking on this side, for instance, all the way through. And then instead of having parking there, we can add a filler, which is basically like a grass island of some sort, something like this. We'll add some curb sizes, some medians. We'll just lower the elevation ever so slightly. Yep, and then we'll just, if I click Control, Shift and B, I am able to just fill that out for the entire road. So I'm just gonna do something like that, and then we can have a special tree of some kind that sort of lines this avenue. For instance, a huge palm tree. I think I'm actually just gonna go for these. They are so fun. And now I'll just have one equally spaced between each of these houses. And then just alongside the grass filler all the way up to the main road here. Oops. And that's a pretty fun area. Looks pretty good, and it does enable for parking alongside one side of the road. So I don't think we need like a dedicated parking lot, because I'd rather not create that. We do have parking available in the vanilla game, but it's not the most prettiest of assets, so I don't want to overuse it everywhere. Preferably not, at least. I'm going to go ahead and we're gonna remove some of the beach here, make it a little more grassy so that we can go ham with the with like all the grass and all the shrubs here. Make it look pretty wild and nice. I think here I'm going to try and create like my own breakwater design, but it is very difficult with these vanilla type of rocks here. So I'm gonna try and we'll see how it looks. Yeah, okay. Not perfect, let's just conclude that already, but I could probably have used some more. I'm just gonna remove a few so that these don't stick out as much. I'm gonna remove those that really like creep up. Now the very final area is just gonna be housing out here, and I'm gonna copy the style I did on this little part of the island, so it's not gonna be anything special. Pretty much the same, adding in a cul-de-sac or two. Adding in the houses, just gonna hand pick them and place them, and that's pretty much it. And there we have it, our lovely resort island, which is about as far as my creativity is gonna take me. So if you have a suggestion for the name of this island, hit me up in the comments down below. I'd be very interested to naming this. This island is named Isla Soleada, so maybe that is some inspiration for you. But overall, I am pretty happy with how this place turned out. Working with the limitation of vanilla assets, decals and props and trees is a lot of fun, but it's also very clear that I use mods extensively to achieve this look. So that's also like a big factor in how this ended up looking. But really happy with the look. Gonna shoot some juicy final cinematics for you guys now, and I think that's a wrap. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Bye.